Hi everyone and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 17th of June, going through until Sunday the 23rd of June 2024. Thanks for joining me out here on this lovely day. It's a pleasure to be with you today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each day of the week to see what the planets are doing and how they'll influence us. And then I'll go through each sign of the zodiac from Aries through to Pisces to give you a specific message for your sign of the zodiac. And my horoscopes are for sun signs. Same as the horoscopes in the newspaper. If you're reading that, it's based on your sun sign. Okay, so what I noticed this week is that it's potentially very extreme. There's room to have major personal breakthroughs, but also there's the potential to have misunderstandings with other people, to get the wrong end of the stick, and to experience some friction in that area of your life. So on Monday the 17th of June, we have so much happening. We have the moon in Libra. The moon, I always mention, is like your heart, the way you feel. And in Libra, it's very creative, it's expressive, but it also has a desire to connect with other people. And then it trines Mercury in Gemini. So Mercury, the communication planet, being in the sign that it rules, Gemini, is really going to encourage you to express yourself and to share your thoughts and ideas. And also it quincunxes Neptune in Pisces. So Neptune is the dream planet. It's the water planet of intuition. But when it's in a particular house in your chart, it can also indicate that this is an area where the fog kind of rolls in and there's not total clarity, and sometimes there's even room for confusion. So having the moon in this air sign Libra and also the communication planet in the air sign Gemini, you may express something that you think is normal and perfectly understandable, but it may not go down as you plan. So on Monday, just make sure that you don't assume anything about other people specifically, and that if you are sharing something, that it's not an overshare, or what you're saying is at the very least factually accurate. So Mercury in Gemini then also squares Neptune in Pisces. So again, the confusion or the potential for things not being 100% clear when it comes to the way you express yourself. And we also on Monday have a lot of planets changing sign. So the first one is Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity. That now moves into Cancer at 7:20 in the morning. So if there is misunderstanding happening on this day, you may take that very badly in the sense that you may overreact emotionally, and things that normally wouldn't faze you very much could actually sting quite a lot. Also, the moon then changes sign. It goes into Scorpio at 7:38 in the morning. And the moon in Scorpio likes to get to the truth of a situation. It likes to use its intuition. So that's very positive with the combination to Neptune, because if you do work intuitively or you're a creative person, then that'll be very easy to tap into here on Monday. The moon in Scorpio then also opposes Mars in Taurus. So my feelings above what is really going on, that could create a bit of friction or feeling ill at ease. And it also squares Pluto in Aquarius. So the potential for these wonderful new ideas to be born. And with that influence, it's interesting because even if you do get the wrong end of the stick, if you're having a conversation with someone and it doesn't go as planned, look at what you learn from that situation. That's really what I think this is all about. I can either learn about myself or I can learn about the other person and then make adjustments as needed. And the moon in Scorpio also trines Venus in Cancer, and it quincunxes Jupiter in Gemini. So one, I really want to connect and express how I feel. And also there's the opportunity to do wonderful creative work. And I think that's going to be much more straightforward on Monday. Mercury then also changes sign. Mercury enters Cancer at 7 minutes past 10 in the morning. And my horoscopes are based on UK time. That's where I'm located. So just take the time difference into account, but don't get too hung up on it in terms of which minute is this. It's a gradual shift, right? So Mercury in Cancer is also very focused on nurturing other people and connecting with them in a way that's not just based on facts and figures and numbers, but also about the feeling side of things. So you see, the problem is that you're massively drawn towards other people, but what's not so clear is, what is it that I'm actually saying? Am I being insensitive or inconsiderate? Mercury in Cancer then conjuncts Venus in Cancer, and it quincunxes Pluto in Aquarius. And again, that's the chance to really learn about another person. And if you do find that there are arguments or misunderstandings, rather than saying, okay, that's the end of this, there was an argument, so I'm done, look at it as an opportunity to grow as a person and to deepen your understanding when it comes to another person in your life. So overall, you would get this sense just from what I've mentioned here, but on Monday, relationships may become a little bit complicated, to say the least. There is room for misunderstanding, conflict, and ultimately you may find that you can't read the room very well. At the same time, you may have this ongoing desire to be around one person or even a lot of people. So it's best to proceed with caution. And I think the easiest way to manage this is not to make assumptions about other people, what they're thinking, where they may be at in life, and to just judge every situation kind of based on the info, based on its merit, right? On Tuesday, the 18th of June, things calm down a little bit. Now we have Venus in Cancer forming a quincunx with Pluto in Aquarius. So if you're an artist or a writer or a performer, this really supports you in having wonderful new ideas and then creating them in some sort of artwork or particular format that you work with. The Moon in Scorpio trines Saturn in Pisces, and it quincunxes Chiron in Aries. And this now is very different. As far as I'm concerned, this is the opportunity to have a major spiritual breakthrough that's designed to really heal something about you that you feel is unhealed or that's been an issue for a while. So Tuesday, you have the opportunity to figure out a difficult personal problem and to realize what it is you can do to resolve the matter once and for all. It's also a wonderful day for self-care, healing, and using your imagination, one, to problem solve, but also to get creative and to express yourself through the arts in some way. Wednesday, the 19th of June, we have the Scorpio moon now forming an opposition with Uranus in Taurus. So that may be that, I'm trying to get on top of the way I feel and I'm trying to get an inner sense of control of what's going on, and I reject the things that are going on around me, particularly if you're being surprised or if there are chaotic circumstances that you don't quite appreciate. It also trines Neptune in Pisces and quincunxes the Sun in Gemini. So there's still the potential to not get things quite right, to make little mistakes, and for those to be present in what it is you're saying. So if you do write or if you're doing a presentation on Wednesday, it's a good idea to double check your work and to proofread everything twice or maybe even 3 times. The moon then enters Sagittarius at 5:32 in the afternoon. So we're coming out of the depths of the ocean, so to speak, Scorpio, and now we're going into Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, the sign of the centaur, and it's really about becoming a little bit more grounded, even though it is a fire sign, and saying, okay, what am I looking to move towards? What's the next goal? What's the next adventure? So things lighten up a lot in the sense that I don't really need to get to the truth of every situation. As long as I feel like I'm making progress and things are interesting and I'm motivated, that's good enough. So things start to ease off a little bit and become a bit more straightforward. The Sagittarius moon then opposes Jupiter in Gemini. So there's real confidence that comes in now. Of course I can do this because I have the idea, so the details don't really matter. So on Wednesday, things shift quite significantly. And if you feel that you hold yourself back from doing certain things that you want to do because it seems too difficult or there's something that kind of blocks you or stops you, look at it on Wednesday. You may find that actually I can't do this. The Sagittarius moon then also sextiles Pluto in Aquarius. So I want to experience something new. I want to transform my ideas. I want to have different experiences. And it quincunxes Venus and Mercury in Cancer. So these could be new ideas about how do I care for myself, how do I see myself, or also in a more literal way, if you're an artist and you always use watercolor, then maybe there's a sense on Wednesday that, hey, maybe I should use oils on canvas and try expressing myself in a different way. And if that comes in whatever format on Wednesday, go with that. It's the opportunity to learn something new and to experience something completely different. So on Wednesday, on top of these ideas around trying things in a completely new way, You may also be somewhat oblivious towards bad intentions around you, and you may feel blindsided by events or conversations that put you on the spot. Like, why am I suddenly being so scrutinized? I thought we were having a good time. It's that kind of vibe. Your creativity is still supported, so is learning, research, and study. Thursday, the 20th of June, we have the Sun in Gemini forming a square with Neptune in Pisces. So again, I'm able to express things that are very personal. And I feel that there's an ongoing sense that it's better and easier to express them for yourself and to not open them up to immediate judgment by other people. So the opportunity is to kind of get something out of your own system and to learn from it and to feel like you've lightened the load. But if you're looking for total understanding via another person on Thursday, avoid that. There's so much going on that other people may find it difficult to put themselves into your shoes, or they may not want to, or they've got so much on their plate already that it's just like anything that isn't straightforward or simple may seem like an irritant or like an excessive demand on them and their time. The moon in Sagittarius then squares Saturn in Pisces. So this is that kind of oblivious sense of, hey, I just want to go on an adventure and have a good time. And that can come across as kind of a bull in a china shop. So again, exercise caution. And the moon in Sagittarius also quincunxes Mars in Taurus. So I want to take control of things. And also, if what I'm saying is misunderstood or I'm getting an unfriendly response, for instance, you may then dig in your heels and become resentful about that. I thought I was clear. Why am I being misunderstood here? Is it deliberate? Do people not like me? You see, things are kind of elevated to kind of an extreme level here, particularly when it comes to your relationships with other people. And then finally on Thursday, the Sun enters Cancer at 9:51 in the evening, which heightens the desire to connect and to have harmonious relationships. And on Thursday, I think it may be a little disappointing, especially, you know, if you're having a conversation with someone and you think you're friends and you think you get each other, and then you say, okay, I want to express something that's been playing on my mind or something that's going on for me emotionally. And that person then reacts in a way that you didn't see coming and kind of rejects you or even shuns you as a result. That can be very hurtful. So I think this isn't the week really to wear your heart on your sleeve, especially if you don't know another person very, very well. And again, try not to assume how they would react, or just kind of prepare yourself for that and try and keep it as factual as possible. So on Thursday, despite the previous days, you may still find it challenging to assess things clearly. And now there may be the desire to escape and to not face reality at all. So to withdraw and to say, oh, you know, I've been hard done by. I'm kind of in a victim mentality. This week can be really complicated in all these areas. There's a lot of complicated emotion floating around. And before I move on to Friday, but you see what I always find here on Planet Duality, when things are extreme in one way, they're also extreme on the flip side of that. So if you find that you're having kind of unexpected issues with other people this week, the flip side of that, I feel, is that you have this extreme ability to understand yourself better and to even understand what motivates you in certain areas or what the underlying assumptions are behind these conflicts. So try and stay open-minded and be willing to learn about yourself and other people. Friday, the 21st of June, we have the moon now still in Sagittarius, and it squares Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So there's still the desire to experience something new, but there's a greater sense of wholeness, and it's not like you're looking for something in another person, so the whole thing becomes less charged and more straightforward. The moon in Sagittarius then also trines Chiron in Aries, and it quincunxes Uranus in Taurus, and this is much more practical. It's very much about, if I take action and if I take the practical steps required, I can get what I want and I can heal myself and I can overcome any hurt feelings that have come up this week. And then Mercury in Cancer sextiles Mars in Taurus. So we're not completely out of the woods here, because even though there's room for error, there's this ongoing desire to connect and maybe even to mentor another person who may not want to be mentored. And then if there's pushback or you're challenged with Mars in Taurus, the problem with that is that you're not likely to immediately say, oh, okay, well, you must be right. I'll have a look at that. And I think saying that kind of phrase instead of, I must be right and this person is having a go at me for no reason, being willing to change and to see things from another person's point of view may not feel particularly natural, but it's a good way to actually learn something here. So it may feel counterintuitive and a little frustrating on Friday. So with the Uranus in Taurus and Chiron energy, Friday is a great day to land, so to speak, and to feel like you now have something solid under your feet and things aren't so all over the place. And you can become more practical and also much more realistic in your assessment of things. So big decisions and practical changes are supported, especially if they relate to your personal circumstances and they have nothing to do with other people. On Saturday, the 22nd of June, we have the moon now going into Capricorn at 8 minutes past midnight, again based on my time zone. And we have a full moon in Capricorn on this day. So I'll make a separate video on that to give you more info. But if Friday things started to make a bit more sense and things became a little more tangible and easy to understand, with the moon entering Capricorn, which is an earth sign, things really feel much more solid now on Saturday. The Capricorn moon then opposes the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer. So I'm able to take practical action. I can take care of myself and make changes that I may want to make, but also it's easier now to connect with other people in a harmonious way. So I'm making it sound like, you know, Monday to Friday you have to be a little hermit crab. I'm not saying that, but I just think, you know, if you want to avoid any conflict, just be careful around how you express yourself. And the weekend is really great for relationships. So again, it flips by almost 180. So you don't have to kind of isolate, but for Monday or Friday, just be a little cautious. And then Saturday and Sunday, you can really relax and have a good time with friends and family members and meet new people and all those kind of things. The Capricorn moon then, it also trines Mars in Taurus and it quincunxes Jupiter in Gemini. So that's, again, still great to express yourself, but now it's about making concrete plans and also becoming more practical and saying, what is it that I need to do to get things done? So very cut and dry. The Sun in Cancer quincunxes Pluto in Aquarius. So new ideas and a much greater openness when it comes to your relationships with others. So Saturday, finally, there's less potential to kind of put your foot in your mouth. And you're able to assess your circumstances and your relationships correctly now. So there's not as much room for error. So Saturday is the best day of the week for great connections with others and to enjoy yourself just being around people and enjoying their company. It's also likely that the dust will have settled from any recent misunderstandings from Monday to Friday, and you feel this major sense of, oh, I can breathe a sigh of relief here. Things aren't as wild as they have been. Sunday, the 23rd of June, we have the moon in Capricorn now forming a square with Chiron in Aries. So this is very much about what can I implement to make my life easier and better. It trines Uranus in Taurus. How can I work with things that are outside of my control, and how can I even try and get on top of those things as best I can? And it sextiles Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So I can dream, but I also feel taken care of and loved, and there's no lack here. I don't feel like I need something from another person or that I'm kind of desperately looking for anything to make everything seem okay. I'm already okay, so I don't need to look for it. So Sunday then, with all of that, it's another great day to relax and to focus on the practical matters that need taken care of on the day, but you can also make plans for the future in a very grounded, consistent way and doable kind of way, so you're not likely to kid yourself. If you want to make changes to your daily routine, It's a good day to find alternatives, which one will take the pressure off, and two will give you a greater sense of freedom and optimism for the future. So that's what I get via the planets. Let's have a look at each sign of the zodiac. So Aries, really pay attention to the assumptions you're making in your work and try to take your time and really try and see things objectively if that's possible. The potential issue for you specifically is that you can get the wrong end of the stick here, and the reaction may be, this is the conclusion I've come to, particularly around another person. I've had enough of that, and I'm going to express that very clearly. If you kind of play that game, or if you get into it, one, you may not be responding to things that are actually real. You've just assessed them in a way that's overly personal or emotional. And for you, Aries, I would really like to issue a warning, actually, because if you decide to let it rip and to say, I'm going to give you a piece of my mind based on what has occurred between us, it can put your career and your security at risk. So Aries, I think for you, it's really important to be patient with yourself and to exercise real caution. Because once you've said something, you can't unsay it. Taurus, you may discover a wonderful new business idea, especially if it involves some sort of positive or charitable service or product that you want to create. Pay attention to these ideas, especially if you're thinking of starting your own business. But if you haven't decided what that business is going to be about, the content of the new business, you're very likely to find that this week. You'll be attracted to something, and you can find the actual specific idea that then allows you to move forward with a new business. Gemini, if you're working in a job that you don't particularly enjoy, and again, if you don't quite know what you could be doing instead, your life purpose as it relates to work is likely to reveal itself to you this week, especially on the days of the working week, Monday to Friday. So you see, Gemini, you're an example of how these extremes can really benefit us, because you may find that you have difficult communication with other people, but when it comes to yourself, you can really nail it and get very specific as to what could be done instead of what is now. So you're able to look ahead and say, if I adapt and if I change the situation, it'll work much better for me. So that is a personal breakthrough. And Gemini, you really have major potential to understand yourself in a much more profound way this week. Cancer, you'll be able to make a genuine connection with your higher self, or source, or the universe, or your instinct, your gut feeling, whatever you want to call that ethereal presence and spirit. If you feel like something is missing in your life when it comes to spirituality or your sense of belonging, in the world, in this universe, you'll discover a method that works very, very well for you this week. So for instance, a specific type of meditation that works much better than what you've done in the past. So if you've always tried mindfulness, you may want to try transcendental meditation or chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and you'll immediately recognize, hey, actually this works much better for me. And it doesn't even need to be as specific as meditation. It could be, journaling works for me, or being out in nature, or sightseeing is almost like a spiritual experience. So just be open-minded to what will really connect you. Leo, if you're able to take any time off this week, please do. It's a wonderful time for you to be inspired and motivated by travel, seeing the sights, going on trips, or even just lounging around and relaxing in the sun. And this week for you is a wonderful opportunity to decompress, to take it easy, especially if you find it really hard to relax. If you are on the second day of a week off and you find yourself becoming restless and even feeling guilty, I should be more productive than this, I can't just be sitting around reading. This is a week where you can actually take that time and decompress without the guilt or without this sense of I've got to keep moving all the time, right? Virgo, If you put your analytical hat on this week and you apply it to your work, your career, you can be the star pupil of your company or your business, because you are likely to find a solution to a problem that has stumped everyone else around you. So you're really the expert researcher here this week. And on top of that, using your problem-solving skills can put you in a position for promotion. Anything that you solve, you'll really be recognized for that, and other people are going to be very grateful to you. If you've also been challenged by a personal issue that you haven't been able to make any progress with, you'll get a very clear answer as to what changes you can make within yourself to shift the dynamic and to let go of one or more personal issues that you feel hold you back and complicate your own life. Libra, you may be a little puzzled that your usual way of operating may not go down very well this week. So if usually everyone gives you a round of applause and says, oh, you're the best, we love it, you may find that things are a lot quieter this week. You may also discover that you're being unusually challenged by other people to the extent where you may feel like, what is this, gang up on Libra week? So try and see those kind of experiences as opportunities to take instruction and be willing to then look at yourself, your role in the situation. And especially if you're being called out repeatedly, try not to dig your heels in and be stubborn about it, but try and look at it in the sense that, hey, you know, one or several people have said this to me this week. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe I can look within, do a little bit of soul searching in order to improve. Because none of us are perfect. We can all do better. It's just not nice being told by other people. So they may have a point, but you may not love that. Scorpio, you may be approached by a company or an individual this week with a new opportunity that may come as a total surprise. If and when that does happen, seriously consider saying yes to this opportunity, because it can lead to even bigger and better things in future. So Scorpio, you're going to have a very different experience this week, as in this presence comes into your life seemingly out of the blue and is going to present something to you which you can receive as a real gift, a genuine opportunity. Sagittarius, you may be handed a wonderful idea or some incredibly useful information by someone close to you this week. So a friend or a colleague you really get on with, or a family member. So again, see that as a bit of a blessing and accept it and implement it without too much doubt, because you're really likely to have an absolutely delightful outcome when you take this nugget of gold, this little bit of information that's just being delivered to you free of charge. It's going to make things work more effortlessly, much more smoothly. Capricorn, we do have a full moon in your sign this week, and because of that, you're one of the luckiest signs here in June, 17th to 23rd. And you're going to have a very different experience again to a lot of the other signs, where others are likely to experience hurt feelings and all this conflict that I mentioned. You'll find that you experience a lot of positivity from others, and even you may find that people really appreciate you and what it means to have you in their life. So if you get a compliment, Capricorn, this week, or several compliments, then please accept them and believe them. And if someone comes up to you this week and says, you know what, I just want to really thank you for your contribution, that may teach you that, you know, you do good work and that you add a lot of value, and that you may not always see that accurately. Aquarius, you'll become crystal clear on how to realize or manifest one of your most treasured hopes and dreams, and for you to put as much time and effort into the action steps required to realize something, to give it a real form and structure. You're able to do that and not be hampered or delayed. and it's very likely that you'll get what you want. You know, sometimes when we really, really care about something, like it's been a lifelong desire, then sometimes it can be a little daunting to actually make that a real thing because, well, what if I fail? And then it's no longer this really important treasured dream I have, but an actual disappointment. So a lot of people stop themselves when it comes to doing things in earnest on that level. But if you have anything like that, so something you've really wanted for a long time and you feel this glaring void in your life, have a go this week and you're not going to be disappointed. And again, you're one of the signs that is able to experience these extremes in a very positive way, where you get an extremely good outcome. Pisces, you may find that you are criticized in a way which seems like a complete injustice, and as a result, you may want to ghost the person responsible. So I mentioned this before, but you know, you may find that something really stings, and you're like, wow, I'm really hurt by this. Down comes the wall, and I don't ever want to speak to you again. So try and be very careful around making those kind of decisions, and give yourself time to consider what has been said and whether it does have any merit or not. And if it has merit, then try and look at it. But if you don't think it has merit, even with that, try and delay your response because you may overreact this week. But, you know, if someone says something to you in a way that you think is really way harsh and super excessive, then address that, but don't dismiss the lesson within that criticism out of hand because they weren't delivered very well or because it made you feel hurt or uncomfortable. Try and have a look at those kind of things and see if there's anything to it, because that again is an opportunity to really learn and to see your role in things and to improve that in a way. So as you can see, guys, it's not the easiest week of the year, but there is a great opportunity for all of us to kind of improve personally and to have great things happen in earnest. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, scroll down a bit until you get to the button that says book your reading. Click on that to order your reading with me. And in my personal readings, I use astrology, the tarot, numerology, as well as my intuition. And to draw up your birth chart, I just need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then please order a chart rectification with me. That's a process where I manually work out your time of birth based on 10 or more significant life events. And once I have the chart in front of me, it's a wonderful personality profile. It shows me a great deal about you and who you are. So life purpose as it relates to work, life purpose in general, if the two are different, strengths, weaknesses, to see how you've changed over time and to see how things are going to progress in future over the next couple of months and even years. I look at the progress chart and the transits. And if you have any questions around moving or specific locations, I also look at the transits and the astrocartography, because that shows me how each area or specific location will influence you. So if you'd like to speak to me about any of those things, please do get in touch via the website. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. I do these weekly horoscopes every week. And I also do videos on the new moons and full moons. Watch out for the full moon in Capricorn video. I'll make that over the next few days. If you want to watch the daily tarot reading that I do on this channel, then please consider becoming a member of my channel so you have access to those. Have a wonderful week, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best. Take care.